created that especially for you. So girls, I hope you're sitting back in your lounge chair, you've got your PJs on, you've got your cup of tea or your coffee, we've got our popcorn here ready to go. We're gonna have a great night together. And Sue, look how cute you are.
Oh no, my pajamas say irresistible. So, you know, I'm gonna rock the irresistible tonight. And I'm loving, I tried to wear my mask, but my hair is too slippery and it just keeps flicking off. So I'm gonna just, oh, yep, good, that was good. Let's try that again. And Nerida's mask, how good is Nerida's mask?
See my mask?
You need to see it on. You need to see it on.
Are you ready, girls? It's a little bit weird.
Oh no, my pajamas.
My husband has to wake up to this every morning. Isn't he a brave man? And just in case you're wondering who it is, this is Audrey Hepburn, thanks to Breakfast at Tiffany's.
The weird thing about that mask is it's almost you. Like it's
almost
just a little off, but
it is. It's just a little off.
It's just a little. But I love it. I love it.
The thing is, I can't see what it looks like, but Dean has to wake up to it every morning.
I love it. And I can attest to that because I've been to conferences with Nerida and we've shared a room and she always wears the mask. Thankfully, I get up before her and I don't see it, which is awesome. Speaking of awesome, what would Sisterhood be without the contribution of our amazing creative team? And they've put something I think very exceptional together tonight.
Yes.
I think you're all going to love it. I think most of you will know it. It's a very well-known song, so I'd encourage you sing along, rock together on the couch. It's going to be amazing. We've got our friend Josh, who's always part of Sisterhood.
Yep.
He's part of this as well, which has been great. And so I'm going to hand over to the team.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain and we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill in those other needs that you won't let show. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. Oh, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. 'Cause we all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. 'Cause we all need somebody
Wow, I love our team. How good are they? How good was that?
Amazing.
I hope you saw some familiar faces in there. Spot the faces. The team had a lot of fun putting that together, and I just love we can do Sisterhood like this. And I mean, a big part of Sisterhood always is our giveaways, which we love. I mean, last time we did the karaoke, which was hilarious. So we've laboured on how to do this in a creative way, because we don't want to miss the giveaways, because it's important. There's an underlying value that we have here of generosity, of really wanting to make you feel special and loved, and that's why we do our giveaways. So the first giveaway we had, there's a bit of a competition. The first giveaway we have is this beautiful spa pack. It's beautiful. It's been put together by a couple of lovely girls in the church who wanted to put this together very intentionally and specially for someone else. There's lots of cool things in there. There's a nice candle.
What else
That
is in there?
smells really good. That smells really good. They're going to kill me for pulling this apart. There's a detox and repair mask. There's lots of really nice, there's some nail polish. I really need nail polish.
You actually need nail
Look at my
polish.
nails. Look at them. I got my nails off here, but I can't get these off, so I have to do this.
So one hand of nail polish.
One hand. I'm just
One
using
hand
this
done.
hand so that you think I've got two. So this, if you would like this, we need you to take a photo, a creative photo of yourself or whoever you're watching this with in your pajamas. This is a PJ shot.
But make sure you ask their permission before you post it online.
Yes. And the more creative, the better. And if you post it in the comments, upload it in the comments, later on we will be making the judgment call on who gets this. So get to it with your cameras and start uploading your PJ shots. Love it.
Excellent. And our next giveaway is an Uber Eats voucher.
Woohoo!
It's for our keen-eyed girls who love detail. So tonight, at some point during the night, we're going to have a little set change.
Yeah.
Okay? So you'll see something slightly different. So if you are a keen-eyed person, why don't you look out for that? Because we've got a little set change coming up and a prize for you. So you need to make that comment in the comments section as well, and we're going to get that prize out to you, that giveaway out to you. But I need to give you a clue. It's nothing to do with this table over here, okay? Because I am taking my popcorn, I'm eating it, I have my phone and my cup of tea, so it's not going to be over here.
The details, girls. I would definitely not win that one, so that's okay. And the third giveaway that we have is a Kmart voucher, because who doesn't love Kmart?
Absolutely.
And we're all, busy not doing much except putting our houses back together and changing the cushions. Well, some of us are not doing that. And so we've got a Kmart voucher to give away, and I love the idea of this one. This is, you need to write down, nominate someone, 25 words or less, one of your I got you babes of the planet, and you need to tell us about someone who's been generous in this season, who has helped out, who has gone above and beyond, has displayed some form of generosity to other people, and you have to nominate them. If you could do that in the comments, we will tell you who wins at the end. It's going to be awesome because we love generosity.
And that is another voucher, isn't it?
That
so
is
we
a
will
Kmart
get that
voucher.
out to you.
So good.
Very, very cool. And girls, we really value generosity here and believe that generosity is a lifestyle. And one of the mandates of Sisterhood really is to place value not only on you girls, but also within our wider community. And so, at the moment, as we find ourselves in a season of isolation, we really do have heightened need within the community. And as a church, I just want to highlight a few things that we've been able to do to be able to really reach out into our community and help those in need at the moment. One thing that we've been able to do is to be able to bless our teachers who are on the front line in some of our local schools. And so as a church, we've created and put together some thank you packs, And on behalf of New Hope Community Care, we've been able to deliver them to teachers who are in this school, just to say thank you for what they're doing at the moment, which has just been so valuable for them. Another thing that we've been able to do in this season is to be able to meet the needs of some of our migrant families, our refugees. And so we've had some specific needs that we've become aware of, and as a church community, we've been able to help out those people. And at Easter time, our Easter services were absolutely incredible, and we saw thousands of people being able to view those services online. And so we weren't just reaching our community, but we were actually able to reach people within our nation and beyond our nation as well. We saw people viewing from all over the world, which is something that we never expected that we would be able to do as we embarked on this season. And so I think that in this season of isolation, God has really been able to use the church to be able to do things that we never imagined that we would be able to do. And so girls, I just want to share a verse with you just to encourage you. And it comes from Isaiah 32 verse 8. It says, "A generous man or woman devises generous plans, and by this generosity, he or she, you girls, you will stand." And that word doesn't just mean to stand. That word stand means to rise up. And I want to encourage you that as we have an opportunity to give a little bit later on, as we're generous and able to partner with Lifeline, as we're able to partner with New Hope Community Care tonight, and to be able to reach out into our community, the promise for us is that we will stand, but more than that, it means that we will rise up. And so I want to encourage you, as you give, if you would love to partner with us tonight, that is just a great blessing for each and every one of us as we give tonight. So thanks, girls. If you'd like to join with us in doing that, reaching out into our community, then you'll find the details on the screen.
It's awesome. I love generosity. Generosity just makes a way. It just does. It changes lives, and I love that. And I love that thought. I love that verse. You know, tonight I really want to give a shout out to our Miss Sisterhood girls, because they've all gathered, which is awesome. Love having them with us. And what would Sisterhood be without the highs and lows and the ups and downs, the hilarity and the depth, the profound and the ridiculous? And so on that note, remember at last Sisterhood, at our first Sisterhood this year, we found those two beautiful older ladies who had been best friends for 94 years.
They're my favourites.
And they talked about how they'd navigated friendship over 94 years. Well, we have another clip of these beautiful old girls, and they are talking about some popular culture things that they can't quite get their minds around. So enjoy this. It's hilarious.
All right, everybody, listen. You know, last month, we had 100-year-old best friends share their secrets to lifelong happiness and friendship. Now, these two women have been friends for 94 years. Can you imagine what you'd think of the world today if you grew up back in the 30s? Well, we asked them to give us their opinions and their takes on today's pop culture. Pretty funny, some of the stuff they had to say. Check out Irene and Alice.
Selfie,
I don't know what she's saying.
where you take a picture of yourself and you put it on Facebook and let everybody see it.
When do you take a picture of yourself?
Oh, they do it. They do it.
I don't.
Oh, no, you don't and I don't. But they do.
Who's they?
Other people. I gotta try that sometime.
I had enough pictures taken of me. I didn't have to take my own picture.
Have you heard of it?
The dance?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been so far from the dance floor that I don't know what's going on.
We did the 1, 2, 3 shuffle. When I think of it, we must have looked like, I don't know what. Yes, 100%. Listen, oh, I am so irritated. I don't know what in the hell's going on, but it rings out. There's all kinds of things before and you can't call the telephone company. You got some mummy, I think they are, answering the phone. So I don't know what happened to good old Illinois Bell Telephone that I used to work for. Oh, that kid, the singer?
What do you think of who?
Justin Bieber, that singer. I think he's in movies, isn't he? He's not doing something right, from what I heard. I don't remember. Am I right?
You're right.
Oh,
You're definitely right.
But I don't know what it is.
Let's go to the next question. That wasn't a very good one for us, was it? I didn't hear
The
what
baby name, what do you think of the baby name North? North? Whose name is that?
Spell it.
North? You're kidding. Oh, BF. BFS. Oh, best friends? No. Oh. F.
Friends.
Well, we
forever.
say goodbye. BFS.
That's close to.
How cute were those girls? I just love their definition of BFF, even if it was a little bit inappropriate.
A little bit inappropriate, just a little bit inappropriate, but we love a little bit inappropriate. I also love that they know who Justin Bieber is. I'm not sure who Justin Bieber is, but they certainly seem to know who he was and that he did something wrong. I'm not quite sure what that was about, but we'll just leave that with them. So cute. Love just seeing that friendship build over so many years. They're just too cute. And I guess on that note, I'm really excited to introduce this next segment to you. I'm really honored to be able to introduce you to my friend Sam Mack. Sam Mack and I have been friends for a long time now, and we're very close. And to be perfectly honest, when I got the whole concept of I Got You, Babe, I actually got it from watching her go through an incredibly tough season in her life and have to rebuild not only her life but community to find the I Got You babes around her. And I've seen her do that very intentionally.
Yep.
And I really feel like she has something to say to us tonight. So I'm so excited for you to meet my friend Sam Mack. So let's go to the interview right now. Well, Samantha McPherson, so good to have you with us tonight. I have been looking forward to this since we talked about it and way beyond. And I think a big part of that is, I talked to you the other day about this, but a big part of it is the whole theme for our sisterhood is I Got You, Babe. And in sort of conceiving, for want of a better word, that theme, you and probably one other person were the people that really were in my mind, in that I'd seen you go through a season where you had to very intentionally rebuild community, rebuild the I Got You babes of your life. And so I'm so excited to have really the essence of I Got You, Babe today. So I want to start with some questions, some getting to know you questions, because some of the people watching will know you, and some of them will not. But I would love them to know you. So let's start with, what's something you're really passionate about?
Authenticity.
Yep.
At any cost, complete authenticity. I have been quite insecure through large chunks of my life, and I exhausted myself with trying to be what I thought people wanted me to be. And if you've ever tried to fake it for any length of time, you just know it's exhausting. And I just got to a point where I was done with it. And so I'm really passionate about not just being authentic myself, but talking about being authentic and being a complete dork in public, so that people feel free to just be their own dorky, authentic selves. For me, that's really important. Can you believe that's my ministry imperative, is being a dork in public?
I love that. And it's so freeing as one of your friends to be able to be free to be a dorky in public person. I love that. And I think too, it's something that we've all struggled with a bit. I think, I don't know whether it's an age thing. Do you think it's an age thing? Not that either of us are at that point where we would call it an age thing, but do you think
all right, so honesty policy. So I'm 48, and I think it probably took me, I reckon till my early 40s before I really started to embrace being authentic and being real. Still having cringe moments where I go, oh God, what did I just say, do, what are people going to think? But then I progressively realised that no one cares. No one gives a crap. So, no one's actually watching me. They're too worried about themselves. So
that's the thing?
I know,
Isn't it?
right? How freeing is that?
You have this massive revelation that you're so worried about what other people are thinking, and then you realise that everybody else is just thinking about themselves.
Exactly.
And you go, and you can just be you, which I love. I do love that about you. Another thing I want to ask you is, you always, to me, have had the most stylish wardrobe. Always. Whether you are in sweatpants, whatever, tights, you just always have that ability, which I'm so jealous of, just to be honest.
Same. I mean, seriously, with COVID, I've just done 60 days of sweatpants, and I was saying to you before we switched the cameras on, this is the first time I've worn foundation in 2 months, so if I look like a drag queen, it's because I was so excited to put on makeup. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to actually look like a human. So, look, you know what? When I married into ministry, and so when I did that, I just never wanted to look like a pastor's wife, and I think I was always really conscious of just, oh gosh, it was just back in the day, I was like, how can I be subversive? So I'd wear leather pants, and like these days it's not a big deal, but there was a time when, wearing ripped jeans and a black bar under a white T-shirt, ooh.
I know.
Wearing anything fashiony was uncool. So I was like, I'm going to wear what I like, and church is caught up now. These days, nothing's a big deal. You can pretty much get away with anything. So, but yeah, I like clothes. Clothes are fun.
Well, I think that's one of the first things that attracted me to you was I was like, I like her. She's edgy. Like, I like edgy. I like slightly inappropriate.
You got more than slightly, but you're welcome.
I got more than slightly, but I like that. I like that about you. One final getting to know you. Favourite, if you could go anywhere in the world, favourite holiday destination and why?
Italy. Food.
Yeah, see?
And scenery, and you walk down the street and you just, there's a sense of just fun. It's a fun country. I mean, it's crazy. You wouldn't want to actually live there, but for holidays, it's amazing. And I'm a total foodie. I exercise so I can eat. I'm just like, and I'd rather have a few extra curves and enjoy life than be rigid and restrictive. Not my jam at all. So I'm a bit of a hedonist. I'm like, eat, drink, yay, do everything.
Be happy.
Yes. Yep.
I love that.
And I think that's part of, as you get older and you appreciate life and living and experiences. When you're younger, you're kind of worried about what do you look like or sound like, or now I'm just like, drink the wine, eat the food, enjoy life. It's here to be savoured. So, yeah.
Well, and life is short, right? And changeable, so.
And Italy feels like that. It's like that's their country ethos, so I love Italy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, we should go there one day together. That would be fun.
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's plan that.
Done.
So you talked before about being a ministry wife, ministry pastors. Oh, well, you're a pastor in your own right. So that's how we actually got to know each other.
We did.
Which I love. And we sat on various committees together.
Yep.
And were very naughty in said meetings. Apologies to any of those people who tried to lead us that are watching. But I guess I always loved I loved a lot of things about you, and I still love a lot of things about you. But when I first met you, I loved that you were edgy. I loved that you never felt compelled to stay in something that was boring. You always had, I was always jealous, a great excuse, of which I had none, to leave when the meeting was exceptionally boring. But you always left like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, but I just have to attend to this. And I'm like, she is lying through her teeth. Why can I not be her?
Sometimes. Mostly, okay. Yeah.
But I love that. I love that you never felt compelled to, for want of a better word, toe the party line, but you did it with purpose. You didn't do it just to be naughty. You just were like, no, I've had this, I'm out, which was probably better than me sitting there with a stewingly bad attitude, just by the way. So we got to know each other through that. I don't know, for some weird reason we clicked because we're quite different, although quite the same underneath, but quite different. Our ages are quite different. Our lifestyle is quite different. But there was always something there that I found in you that was very inspiring and compelling. And I've been grateful for our connection and the authenticity of our connection ever since we first met. So that's how we met.
Yeah.
And I guess having watched, that was our journey together. And then I guess where we take it from now is I guess I then saw your world change drastically. And did you want to speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Okay. So I was married and in ministry for 22 years.
Yeah.
And that all ended quite dramatically when I got divorced. And I know that most girls would relate to the fact that your marriage very much defines who you are because you're a wife and you're a mother and, whatever other things that it is that you do in that family sphere. Plus when you're in ministry and you're fairly visible, there are a whole lot of other roles that define you. And literally overnight, all of those things were gone. And so I lost my husband and I lost my job. I lost my church community because it was quite messy. And I've got 15-year-old twin boys and putting them first was our absolute priority. And the boys really desperately wanted to stay geographically where they were because they wanted to stay at school and youth and church and everything. And whatever they needed was the most important thing. But I had to find work and I was living in a regional centre and there's no way that I could have. Plus, in a little town, where do you go to church? Where do you, how do you, everybody knows who you are. And there wasn't any work options. So I ended up moving to Sydney. So I also lost my home. I lost everything. It was, I was completely gutted. And so in a moment, I literally was just standing in the ashes of my former season and I had to work out, who am I? Separate to all of those things, it was me, God, and a suitcase. And I had to work out, who am I and what's real and what's construct and what have I put on that really isn't me because of necessity, because of roles and expectations and things. And I had to stand there very raw and very naked and very emotionally battered and start again. And it was big.
Yeah, and it was all played out, I think, in really quite a public forum because I think when we are in those roles, we are in a public forum. And I think the thing that probably I noticed the most was, within those, when we're within those communities, we have community and all of our connection, our support and our good friends tend to be in there, especially when you've been there 20 years. It's a long time to be around. And I guess what I noticed about that for you was, it was not only losing that, but the support. It meant that you couldn't lean on the support network that you'd previously had, and so you had to actually rebuild that. And I remember, I remember you moving to the Gold Coast with your mum for a little while. I went and had dinner with you when you were there, and the thing that I really admired, I think, about you, Sam, is that, you were very honest with me once and you said, I woke up one morning and I thought, if I don't get up and move on with my life, I'm going to stay here, which was incredibly brave.
Well,
And
when things are really hard, you go back to a safe space. And so for me, that was moving just back in with family. But a safe space is comfortable, but it's not where your future is. Because growth and development involves risk. And putting yourself in uncomfortable places. And I know that. And it was fighting that instinct to protect myself because I was still kind of bleeding, but recognising that I had enough strength and capacity to get up and start walking forward. And it really is just a day at a time thing, hey? It was just getting up today and going, okay, today I made finding a job my job. And I'd been in ministry for decades. And so like even just finding work, trying to quantify, like I'd run this large organisation with my husband, but then trying to quantify those skills in a corporate setting was really tricky. So every day just had a new challenge, but I just decided today I'm doing today's challenge. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. I'm just going to do today really, really well. And so I would get up and make finding a job my job. And I would get up and I would get dressed well. And I would set myself a schedule. I'd have a lunch break, which all sounds crazy, but I really had to find structure and purpose. And even if they were just in little tiny bites, that's just what kept me moving through the valley.
And I think even moving, like we can go, I had to move to Sydney, right? But you then had to live, like find somewhere to live, and you had to live with someone that you didn't know, which was a challenge, and but turned out really well, but a challenge, and really going somewhere where you didn't have a lot. I mean, you had a few friends down there, but not a great community of people who are going to gather around you and support you. And I think one of the other things I really admired about you in that space was you never felt compelled to tell your story. I think sometimes we can feel really compelled to explain and really compelled to defend ourselves. And I know as someone who walked closely with you in those times, you never felt compelled to explain you never spoke badly about what had happened. You were just determined to move forward and to move into life, which was really difficult, but I think also very wise. You didn't spend a lot of time lamenting what was gone. You just set your face forward, which I so admired. And I always admire people in those circumstances that just don't bag everybody out and blame everybody else. You were very much like, no, well, this has happened. I can't change it. I might not like it, but I'm going to keep going. And I love that.
So honestly, fruitfulness comes from honourable seeds.
That's so true. Say that again, please.
Well, it's true, because if you're not sowing honourable seeds, you're not going to see fruit in your future. So you've got to let go of the things that you can't change, and the things that you can't control, and stick to your what's what I'm looking for? Just continue to be who you were, regardless of what's being thrown at you. And my convictions were, I'm an honourable person. I don't sow negativity. I don't sow bitterness. I don't sow dissent. This has happened to me, but it hasn't changed what's in me. So I have to keep being the person that I was, regardless of what's coming at me. And there were a gazillion times it felt unfair, and I felt misunderstood, and I felt like, my reputation was being maligned. But then I realised that it actually doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter. If I continue to be honourable and respectful and sow good seed, then there is fruit in my future. I don't know what it is yet. I just know that if I sow good seed, there's fruit. If I sow bitter seeds, there's barrenness. So I just refused to set my future up for barrenness. I just decided fruitfulness is my future. So I'm just going to be me, the best me that I can possibly be, and I can't control anybody else's behaviour. And so I just let it flow. And I think that those decisions have set me up for now, sort of 18 months later, I'm in a pretty good space. And I think that part of that is because of the decisions that I made in those very early days.
Absolutely. 18 months. It's only been 18 months.
I know. So much change in 18 months. Far out.
I love that. I think that is wisdom. That is just wisdom gold right there. And I saw you live it, which I love. I love that. I guess what I'd like to talk about is maybe finding yourself out of community, finding yourself really not being able to access that support network, the girls. And, you'd always been someone that I'd really envied. Got to deal with these envious feelings I have towards you.
Sharon, you got issues.
keep coming up. I'd really envied, that the vast amount of girlfriends that you had, the vast amount of, I never saw you really on your own unless you intentionally wanted to be on your own. You always had this vast amount of girls who were in your life. And then moving out of that season, you had to, for a time at least, move away from them because it wasn't appropriate to be leaning on them. So can you speak to maybe how you went about building the I Got You Babe in your world? Because you were very intentional.
It was really tricky, Sue, because, by the way, funny, I wasn't sure how dramatic this was going to be, so I prepared for both options. I'm like, if this goes down, I'm drinking the wine. I forgot to put that there. Look, it was hard because most of my friends and my church family were our staff. So I had to be super careful of how I kept those friendships and how I communicated to those people, because I didn't want them to feel like there was a competition between him and I. And I had to give them space to decide whether they wanted to be part of my future or not, because there was a lot of hurt. Because, I mean, what happened was an atomic bomb in our church. And it was really hard not knowing who wanted to lean in and who didn't. And I had to emotionally remove myself from any sense of hurt if they decided not to lean in, which is really hard. But I just had to be a grown-up and go, okay, because like we were like mum and dad, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it made it really tricky. But it didn't take very long for me to realise the calibre of the people that were in my world. You know what? I have the most incredible group, and it's up to me to make sure that I stay connected to them, because there's life there, and there's healing, and there's love, and there's understanding. And if there's any drop-off around the edges of people that don't want to lean in, doesn't matter. Just grab the ones that want to lean in and lean in back. And I created a WhatsApp group with a bunch of the girls in that group. And Sue's part of that, so she knows. And we have talked such nonsense. We have sent memes. We've talked about my newly minted dating life. We have shot recipes. We have lamented and cried and whinged, and just a safe space where it was okay to talk about anything and everything. No judgment, no expectations. And really that's what it should look like. But I can't believe that it's taken this season in my life to have the most honest conversations that I have ever had. And I have been completely transparent. My nickname is Glandrap. You can see through me, no problem at all. This is what I've always wanted, but it took something quite catastrophic and debasing to strip me bare. And I didn't have any artifice. There was nothing left. I had nothing to hide behind. And so I stood amongst my girlfriends and said, well, this is who I am. And they were like, we love you how you are. And that is the most healing, amazing, restorative moment. And it's just helped me realise I won't settle for anything less than this now.
Yeah,
love me how I am, or don't love me and move on. That's totally fine. And if that means that I have a group of two, if it's me and Sue, that's all good. But there's not. There's more, because there's all these amazing, gracious, honest, real women out there that will do life with you if you lean in.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, running off the back of that then, some advice for girls facing this, similar, because we know there's a lot of them out there, or in the middle of a season where they're feeling somewhat, where they feel they've lost it all or don't know how to rebuild. What advice?
Okay. Firstly, be honest about where you're at. Don't put on face. Don't try and make it look like you're doing better than you are. If it's crap, it's crap. And so be honest with yourself and be honest with the people that are in your world. Give yourself time to heal and feel the feelings that you're feeling. But then you have to realize that this is a valley with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have got to start walking, girl. Even if you're crawling to start, even if you're only doing micro steps, you just have to start moving because your future is out there and it's waiting for you, and you've got to walk towards it. Be prepared to do things that you're terrified of. I moved cities. I lived with complete strangers that I found on flatmates.com. I've started dating again. Don't judge me. Don't at me.
I'm not judging you.
I've just had to, I've gone to a new church. I've been honest with my journey with my new church pastors. I've made friends in worlds I would never have imagined. I'm working outside of the church bubble, which I haven't done in decades. So many new things. Just lean into the new. There are amazing things waiting for you out there. And just so you know, I just became redundant yesterday. So peaches and lemons. I've got all these amazing things happening in my life and really crappy things too. It's life. Life is just a mess, and with all these beautiful nuggets. So you just got to decide that you're going to embrace what God's got for you today, next week, next month, and next year. And he has got things for you. It may not look like what you thought. I never thought at 48 that I would be sitting where I am, but it's beautiful in its own way, and I'm grateful, and I'm actually happier than I have ever been. It's not perfect, but I'm happy. And I didn't think 18 months ago that there was the possibility that I would ever say that again. So no matter how sad and flat and dead end you're feeling, it's not a dead end, I promise you, but you got to move.
Oh my goodness, I love this. This is so good. One of the constants that I think I've seen in you, and I think maybe something that helped was, obviously as a pastor, we would hope you had a very vibrant relationship with Jesus. So,
yes, I did.
Yes, you did. But it's always been something that really stood out to me, and I think that you maintained despite everything else. And I think even the difficult nature of having to relocate, you immediately found a church that you could go to, and you had plenty of offers of people wanting you to go there, but you found somewhere that was your fit, and almost immediately began serving, which I just think is remarkable, but also was very probably healing for you, because you still have, or have always had, a lot to offer. And I think sometimes we can go through these seasons and feel like, well, I don't, because of my season, I've got nothing to offer. But you found an area that you could serve in immediately and began, and I love it. I love what you're doing. And I think that encourages me, I think, because sometimes we can get mad with God, and I'm not saying you didn't, maybe you did, I'm not sure, but you maintained that stability that you had. And I think, would you say that that's something that sort of helped you through it, pushed you through it, guided you through it?
Yeah. Because it's not about me. Go figure, it's not about me. Who knew? It just gives you focus that, it's stuff's happening to everybody all the time. Pastoring has taught me that, if nothing else. So, and the local church is just this beautiful place to, find encouragement and heal and have family and find a quiet space with God when life is noisy. And I've always believed in the local church. I always will. And I've worked in ministry at a fairly visible level, but I'm really also loving just serving on the worship team and just contributing wherever. I don't care, as long as Jesus is on the throne and people are, finding a safe space to learn about him, then great. I've really enjoyed being in church in a different space. It's just, I don't know, you just see it up from a different angle. And church has always been the constant. I've never not been in church since I got saved at 22, and it'll always be that way.
Who is trying to ring you? Don't they know you're doing something? Don't they know that you're doing something? Michelle Fredericks will be watching this. Michelle Fredericks. Bad timing on the call.
Also, can you hear the garbage being collected in the background?
Kind of, yeah. But that's okay. This is real life. This is real life.
It's awesome.
I know. Welcome to real life. So, in closing, how does your life look now? Like, speak to that, because this is one of my favourite parts. How does your life look now? I mean, you spoke a little bit to it before, but how do you feel about life now? How do you feel about yourself now? How do you feel about, everything?
The beautiful thing about a completely new season is I feel like for as much as you sow in heartache, you reap in joy, right? And so I've actually found a whole new me, that the opportunity to have a do-over, and because everything was stripped off, I then looked at everything that was at my feet and went, okay, what's authentic and what do I want to pick up again? Who am I in this new season? And the single woman that I was when I got married at 25 is not the single woman that I am at 48. I'm a different person, and I've now got the freedom to do life however I want. I can essentially...
Well, Samantha McPherson, so good.
Gosh, my Lord.
You are compared to me, yes.
I got heaps to go. So I'm just really excited to see, well, what comes next?
Yeah.
Because every door that shuts, like with this redundancy, I'm like, okay, this is a pivot. What's he going to do with me next? Like an opportunity is coming, because if he closes one door, he always opens another one.
Yeah.
So I am pathologically glass half full. It started as a choice, but now it's my default, because I've set a neural pathway that just sends me in that direction. So, the future's good. The future's really good. And we'll just wait and see, what's in store. But whatever it is, I know that there's opportunities for me to live my best life, and I'm grabbing every single one of them.
Well, I love it. It's that old saying, isn't it? When you're going through hell, don't stop. And you haven't. And I think I've watched you walk through it, and I've watched you walk through it with integrity and dignity, which I love. And I've also seen you do that whole glass half full thing, where it's like, because I am part of that chat, so I do see lots of things where it's like, well, this didn't work out, but something else is coming. And I think it's such a great way to do life, and it inspires me, and I love it. I mean, I love you as a person. I just think you're one of the most amazing people I know. One of my favourites, always.
Yay! Goes both ways, baby.
Is there anything that you would like to add in close?
No, I just probably just one thing.
Yes.
To the girls who are who are sitting under Sue at New Hope, can I just say, you are under a unique leader. She is the most phenomenal woman who is trying to push out the boundaries of what women's ministry looks like and how women relate to each other. And it's so healthy and really inspiring in return. And lean in hard, because this lady wants to do something so honest and so authentic. So lean in and don't shy away from being your authentic self with Sue, because that's exactly what she wants you to be, and then wants you to take that out into your world. So I just encourage you to, whatever she's doing, man, jump on that truck and join in, because she's doing something unique and quite amazing.
Thank you. You are the sweetest.
Thank
you.
Love
Thank
you
you so much for spending your time. Thank you so much for sitting in your bedroom, setting up the filming and taking the time. I just am totally convinced that, what we've shared today, I think is going to set a lot of people free. It's going to make a lot of people feel like they've got a future where they haven't felt like they've got one. And I know for me, every time I talk to you about your story and every time I talk to you in general, I feel inspired to live life better. So I got you, babe.
I got you too.
I know. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. What an absolutely inspiring message from Sam and Sue tonight. Such a brave and open and vulnerable message. And girls, I hope that you've been encouraged tonight to really be the I got you babes to the girls that are in your world right now, no matter where you find yourself. And speaking of that, can I just encourage you that no matter where you find yourself at the moment, if you intentionally build the girls around you, if you intentionally Go after them. You'll never find yourself short in any season that you find yourself in. And so I just want to encourage you for walking that journey with Sam, and just honour you for being the epitome of being an I got you babe, and being such a great example to us tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think Sam has returned that favour 100 times over. And, you know, one of the constants in Sam's life and in Sam's journey, I think, has always been her relationship with Jesus. And I think that has enabled her to weather the storms, to walk through this, to come out on top. And I love that about her. And maybe tonight you're watching this and something in that story or something that we've said tonight has inspired you or really caught your heart, and you're like, I'd really like to know more about that. And we'd love to empower that.
Yeah.
At Sisterhood, we love to empower the next step. We love to empower the journey. And so there's a Connect hub that you can click on, and there'll be some more information there.
Yeah.
There'll be some resource that will actually help you make the journey, take the next step. So I'd just encourage you to go and have a look there and just really lean into all the information and resource that's there for you, which is awesome. What a great night.
What an awesome night.
What a
How
great
cool.
night.
And it's actually not over yet.
It is not?
We've got such an incredible song that our team have put together for you tonight. It's called The Blessing. It's written by Kari Job not too long ago at all. And the heart behind this song is to sing a blessing over you. So tonight, girls, we're not quite finished yet, but we just want this song to be a blessing that is spoken over your life.
Yeah.
And so just enjoy, and we'll be back afterwards to
Yeah.
give you a few more details before we say goodbye.
This is a great song of declaration, of worship, of honour to our God. And as we sing this, join with us. Worship with all your heart and believe for God's blessing on your family, on your children, on the people in your world. Let's worship God together.
Face towards you and give children. May His favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, in your family, in your children, in their children, in their children. May His favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, in your family, and your children, in their children, in their children. May His presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you, He is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you, 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 May His favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, in your family, in your children, their children, and their children. May His presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you, He is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you, 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 He is for We receive goodness, we receive your blessing, Lord. Let your peace reign in our hearts. Lord, sing
Wow, I love that song. That is the best song. That is the song
Absolutely.
of the moment.
Yep.
So thanks so much for being with us tonight. Don't forget to check the comments down the bottom for the winners of the giveaways. Don't forget to spot the difference. We just want to make sure that you get that. And it's going to be awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been so much fun.
been so cool.
Thanks for being with us. We love you. Bye. Woo!